Good morning to all the listeners of Love Bay Afro Beats Music Talk Radio. Welcome to another hour show. It's the England Roger Sports Hour on this Remembrance Day, Roger. It's
Yes.
we have to remember our fallen heroes and hope that everything goes well and there are no protests and everything to disrupt anything.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Good morning, everyone. Today is a very important day in the lives of everyone in the world, actually, because we have found peace through that last World War. So yes, it's a day of hopefully quiet. I know at 11 a.m. we usually have a 2 hour or a 2 minute or a 1 minute moment of silence for the fallen heroes. So
Hmm.
a very important day, and as you said, I hope it goes really smoothly for these deserving people.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I have a brother who served in the U.S. Army, he passed away, but he served, so
Oh, sorry to hear.
today's a special day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yes, it's
And
very special, and yes, we gotta give them credit, and we gotta show our respect for them for sure.
yeah, we do. And listening to some talk shows yesterday, and the veterans, they were concerned because of all the things that are happening throughout the world. That, every weekend we have protests in Toronto, and they're hoping that today at least they'll respect the day and just not do that. So let's hope
Exactly. I really hope
it's a
so.
great day.
It is a very important
Yeah,
day, a truly great day for us.
yeah, for sure. But as usual, there's lots of sports happening, and we're here to talk to you about sports. And
Yes,
besides the Cricket World Cup is heating up,
it's
there's
getting
some
hot.
things on the
It's not only heating up;
very hot.
it's hot right now.
It's hot. Yeah, the some news about Pan Am Games you will talk about in track and field, and
Yes.
wow, the New York, some surprises at the New York Marathon also.
Yes, for sure. Some shockers,
For sure,
actually.
we'll discuss.
Yeah,
Yeah, some shockers. We'll discuss that later on in the program, and we will also have a chat about the football and the soccer scene to see what's happening.
yes,
Those who call it
yes.
soccer, we call it football,
Football.
and
Always the number one sport, no matter what you
some
call it.
great.
Very, very, very,
Yes, number one sport for sure.
very exciting sport.
So we're gonna get right into it today because there's so much to talk about, and
A lot.
especially on the field in cricket. So there's a lot to talk about, and as usual, we start with things that happened. Don't know if we even want to talk about Formula One because it was basically the worst day for Mercedes, and Max won again.
Yes, it just continues and continues and continues, and it's like, oh my God, is it ever going to end? But yeah, Max Verstappen, he won from Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso
Mhm.
in the Sao Paulo Grand Prix over there in Brazil. So it was just, yeah, business as usual, status quo, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Yeah.
but for some reason, Mercedes had their worst performance. According to Toto Wolff, he's the one in charge. He said it's the worst weekend
Mhm.
in 13 years. And
Yeah.
I think he said this justifies why he has to make wholesale design changes for next season. Lewis Hamilton only finished eighth, and they're just way down the track, way down the track. Something has to be done if Mercedes is going to come back. But surprisingly, Lewis Hamilton said after the race that he expects Red Bull to be very clear for the next couple of years. So I'm not even sure what he means by that. If he's saying he doesn't have confidence that his guys will figure it out, but he's saying he doesn't
Yeah.
think he's going to even win a race for the next couple of years, which is just not good.
That's not good, yeah, because
No.
it seems like you don't believe Mercedes can
Can,
overcome
yeah.
whatever issues happening with the car.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
It's
unfortunate.
very unfortunate.
We
What
don't
does
want
that
to see
mean?
one-sided
Exactly. For the next few years, you watch Verstappen win every race, so
every race. Yeah,
uh,
it's just no good.
that would be
So
horrible for
unless he's gonna, maybe if he wants to win, he'll have to switch to Red Bull,
him.
and that's not. I can't see
Yeah.
that happening.
Oh, he just got how much millions of dollars contract, so he's sticking with
Hmm.
Mercedes. So it's going to be interesting to see if anything really changes for next year. But it's disappointing to see this runaway victory. And I mean, not knocking Verstappen, I'm sure he's a great job. It just doesn't have the personality to back it up either, and it just makes it the sport
Right.
just gets more and more dull and boring.
It is. That makes it that way.
Yeah,
This week they're off this week, right? And
yeah.
yeah, I think they're off this week, and then on to Las Vegas next weekend.
Next weekend.
And there's also a challenge by Haas to have the U.S. Grand Prix results rejected and overturned because he said the number of cars that finished ahead of him um, they exceeded the track limits. So
Interesting.
but it was turned down by Formula One. So, but
That's a strange
he's
claim
adamant
there.
that he should be,
Move
yeah.
up, move up the standards.
So
I don't know. I see this as a
I guess
frivolous
the
claim.
points, all the points count.
It does. It does.
Yeah,
It does.
it
And I mean,
is.
in our eyes, it's like, why would you? But I mean, in his eyes, he probably needs those points. It's a big deal for him. So any way to
Yeah,
get it, he'll go for it.
yeah, he needs the points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're off this week, as we said, Las Vegas next week. So we'll see what happens. Expect another Verstappen win unless something happens to his
That's,
car.
I know.
He's
Or
out of the
something happened
race.
to
But
him. I don't know. One of the two. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
other
not
than
looking
that,
that
we
way though.
expect him to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some Last week we also saw some tennis. It was the WTA finals and a bit too easy, Roger. Um,
I
yeah, it
know.
was just all Swiatek easy.
Yeah,
I mean,
6-1, six
I
nothing. I mean,
expected to win,
in a
yeah, but
final
not
like
that
this,
easily.
no.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm happy for her because I think she's the best player out there today. But this was a massive, dominant performance.
yeah, and it takes her back to world number one,
Number one
and
again, in my
yeah,
opinion, deservedly
Sabalenka
so.
two, Golf three,
Yeah,
deservedly so, and
yeah. But Pegula seems to
she's
have
gonna
golf
just
ticket or
keep.
something. I don't know what's going on with she and golf because I don't know. She beat golf pretty easily, and I
Yeah,
thought it was
they've played doubles together, so she
together.
probably gets a close up eye of
Yeah,
what she does, and
she knows what's going
yeah,
on,
she
eh?
seemed to win easily.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But kudos to
and that's
Swiatek. I
yeah.
think, as I
So
said,
I
she's.
expected a.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
No, I was saying Swiatek, I believe, deserves to be number one, and I'm happy to see her there. And I think she's going to go from strength to strength from here.
Yeah, I think so. I just hope someone can just come back and play as good to give us some competition and even beat her at times.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
Sabalenka
you
does
don't
it from
want to
time
see
to time.
one-sided.
Yeah, I don't know Sabalenka
Yeah,
sometimes, but I think there's a lot going on with her too, because of where she's from and the stress that comes with that. And yeah, it's difficult for her, but I think she's challenging. But I think I saw some news that my former favorite player is coming
hmm,
back 6 months after giving birth.
yes,
Yeah, Naomi Osaka.
correct.
She's set to make a return at the Brisbane International December 31st. So she hasn't played since September
Yeah,
2022. So it's been a bit, but I think that little young lady had a lot of talent, a lot of talent, and I hope she gets back to her best.
oh, a lot of talent. I hope so. She's hired a trainer. She's hired a new coach. Or
Yeah,
old coaches come back to her. So
yeah. I think she's
yeah,
serious about
it's.
her
I'm just
comeback.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like the approach she's
Yeah,
taking. She seems very serious. She got the right people in place, doing the right things. Now she just got to play and make it happen.
and make it happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're looking forward to seeing her back myself, and hoping that she can do well. And it would
she
be
will.
incredible for her.
It doesn't matter how long
Don't
it's going to
expect her to
take.
win right away, but
Exactly. I was just about to say how long it's going to take for her to get back to full form, but it's good to see her back. And if she sticks with it, by in the middle of the year, we'll see just how good she is.
yeah, we'll see how good she is. And so on the men's side, I saw that Andy Murray has part ways for a third time with
With even,
Evan Lendl
I guess they have a
as
love-hate
coach.
relationship or something.
So
I mean,
three times.
three
Yeah,
times.
they
I've never
do.
seen that
It's
before.
a mutual agreement.
Yeah,
I know, right? You go back to
it's
so
crazy.
three times they part ways, and maybe he'll come back. Who
Maybe
knows?
he'll
But
come back. You
I
just never
mean,
know with those two.
Murray's 30. Yeah, Murray's 36, so
Yeah.
I don't expect a lot from him. He's probably coming to his final days, but he's probably hoping to do something special.
He's been trying. I think
But
I don't think he's gonna ever get back to who he really was as a top player. He's out there doing what he can, but I don't think. I don't know. To me, it doesn't really matter who's his coach anymore. But yet, who knows? I mean, who am I to say that? I mean, Djokovic is the
Right.
same age, right? And Novak is still winning, so yeah, maybe he
Yes,
could get back. So who knows? But it's been years. It's been years since Andy Murray has been
it's
um,
been years, and
a top player.
yeah, and he's been injured a few times too.
Quite a few times and surgery and all of that stuff. So I just think it's going to be too difficult for him.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. And before we get on to the cricket and track and field, etc., Canada they sealed a place in the Billie Jean Kings
Yeah, I saw
semifinals for the
that.
first time since
Well, since
'88.
1988, it's like whoa. But
Yeah,
Leila Fernandez is just she's just on top of her game right now, and she's, as they say, it's dog fights out there or bull fights or whatever type of fights, but she's out there winning. And to beat Poland, it took them over 3 hours. But awesome to see Canada going on to the semis where they're going to take on the Czech Republic.
yeah, it's awesome to see that, and I think Great Britain is currently playing Sweden in the other semis,
Yeah.
so
I
those
think
are going on today.
yeah, I think Britain started looking like the favorites based on who is in the semis, but let's see. Never say never.
Yes, never say never. Uh, so that's it for tennis, unless you have anything else, Roger. There's not a lot much happening
Not
going
not
on there,
not
but
for tennis, not for tennis, but I do have just a big shout out to the
mhm.
guys in blue as the Argonauts. They're gonna go for another Grey Cup
Oh, the
finals.
Argos,
Yeah, the Argos. So they face Montreal
just
today
just
in the Eastern Conference Finals.
oh yeah, and the winner just if they win, they just go down the road, right?
Yep, yep. If they win,
Because
they're on to
it's
the
in Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
a big game. I think whenever Toronto and Montreal face off, it's always a big game. But
it's always a big game.
Toronto went 16-2. So of course they're going to be heavy favorites coming into this game. But at the end of the day, Montreal is one of the two losses that they had in the season. So they have to look out for Montreal. I mean, they
Hmm.
did beat them in the regular season, so you just never know.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to that game, and I hope that Toronto can come through for us and win that game for sure.
I think they will. I'm optimistic that
Mm.
they will, and yeah, I'm sending a lot of positive energy that way. And they are the defending champions, and they're looking like it's their best season ever, actually. So I'm looking forward to see just how far they're going to go. But I think they are in a great spot to take it again.
Yeah, there and besides the foot in the CFL, the NBA last night, Lakers finally won a game on the road. They came from behind and beat the Phoenix.
And that is a big, big
So
victory, right? LeBron had 32 points, but it's huge
yeah,
because they were off to a rough start,
yeah, very rough start there. What 4-5 is it?
something like that now. And
So,
it was like, okay,
something
what's
like
going
that.
on with
Yeah.
them? But you know what, though? I think, and I haven't done this a lot recently, but this year so far, I've been watching more and more of the Raptors. For some reason, I just end up
Okay.
watching more and more of their games, and it's an interesting team. I think I still don't think they're gonna scare anybody, but it's a solid team. I mean, Scotty
Mm,
Barnes, Dennis Schroeder, Pascal Siakam, and OG Anunoby, they all come together, and if they all come together throughout the season, they're gonna win more than a few games. And
and Schroeder's having a good season so far.
who's that?
Schroeder,
Yes, yeah. You know
yes,
what? He's an awesome pickup. He is phenomenal. He's a great leader. Shoot well, he passes well, he drives the team forward. It's awesome, and he surrounded himself now with Scotty Barnes, who is just like top of the top in the league right now in terms of how well he's playing. So I watched the game against San Antonio, and they were 22 down, 22
hmm
down, and headed into fourth quarter they were like 15 down, and they came back and they defeated them. It's like whoa, and then they took on Dallas, who was going really, really hot. Dallas was like 5-1 or something like that, and with Julius, Kyrie Irving and Doncic, and they beat them too. So let's see what they do tonight against Boston. But I think they're showing that this year they're going to show up and play. They're going to
Hmm.
show up and play. They're not taking anything for granted. They're not pushing the season down. They're going to do well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they can do, and how far they can go.
Yeah, a lot of my friends are fans of Toronto, maybe because we live in the GTA.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they're hoping that they do well. And I have one friend that don't call him when the Raptors are playing, so
He's locked in,
he's locked in. And I don't even have to watch the game because he's on social media giving you
giving you the
all
commentary.
play by play. Yeah, so
He's wow. He's a true fan. Oh my God.
definitely true fan.
But
Yeah,
also, I was looking at some other games as well, and that big move by James Harden to the Clippers.
to the Clippers. Yeah,
But since he's gone there, they're 0-3. So I don't know what's going on. He
is
hasn't
he is
contributed
he bad
positively.
luck?
I'm beginning to wonder. I'm beginning to
Yeah,
wonder now. He said he's playing for the team and all of that, but I don't know. Maybe just need some time to gel. I don't know. But 0-3 is not what I
not good.
expected.
No, he's a good player, but something about him that he doesn't gel with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rest. So
Although last year it sounded like he tried to gel, but I still didn't think he did what he was supposed to do in Philly. And let's see if he
no.
does it in LA with the Clippers. But I have my doubts. But let's see if he's just bad luck or if he's just not as good as he was before, or
Too
maybe
many
just playing
superstars.
and that too. But I
Yeah.
do know Kawhi Leonard is there, and he doesn't play
Hmm.
around when he wants to win his trophy. So I think he's going to be the main reason that team is going to get fixed eventually, sooner than later.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. He's gonna want to win. He's gone there to win championships, so he's not gonna
Exactly.
let. Yeah.
He's not going to let it fall so easily. So we'll see. Another
Hmm.
final note on the basketball here. We saw Canada's Denver Nuggets superstar, Jamal Murray.
Hmm.
He's out for an extended period with a hamstring injury.
Oh wow,
And
didn't
it's
know.
like, Denver may survive, but I'm thinking maybe being a little selfish here. We were hopeful that he'd be ready to go to the Olympics with Canada next year. So
Next
I'm
year.
hoping he comes back really, really good because if he's on the Canadian team, they're going to be dangerous in the Olympics.
Hmm.
So
And
I'm hoping he recovers well.
yeah, let's hope he recovers and be able to play for Canada in the Olympics. Because
Yes.
yeah, he's out for the rest of the month for sure, and then I guess after that they'll reassess.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good
Mm,
while. It's a good while. And
yes,
then, with hamstring injuries, when you come back, you're going to be tentative for like another
definitely.
month, right? So,
Yeah, those don't go away that easily.
no, it doesn't. It
Yeah.
never does. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Sure, you're listening to Love Bay Afrobeats Music Talk Radio and the Roger and Ingle Sports Hour. And we're going to get into some cricket because there's so much cricket happening. It's the World Cup, get into the business end of it, and then
For
the
sure.
finals of the Super 50. We got to talk about that and I got to get your pick on that one. I have my
Yeah.
pick already. Maybe I'm biased, but you'll know who my pick is.
We'll
And
see.
you'll see how it goes in that one. And yeah, I think the final four has really been decided in the World Cup, Roger. And Pakistan they had to win big
They
against
couldn't. They could have
England.
win. They could have win
They
that big. I
couldn't
mean, at
win
the end
that
of the
big.
day, it's like, how are you gonna win? They have to win like over 200 runs or something.
Yeah, and
It's not gonna
it
happen.
could. There was so many memes and stuff there about what can happen because there was a game I think way back and just said claims that a ball was stuck in a tree and they ran until they could get it out and the team was able to win. But
Oh my word.
yeah,
That's
then some people said, Pakistan will bowl out England for 37 and make the runs in 1.5 overs. But
where is that?
no, that
Yeah, that was funny.
unfortunately that didn't happen. They scored 337 for
Yeah,
nine England.
yeah,
And
yeah.
thanks to Joe Root, well, Joe Root finally got a 50. So he's getting
Finally,
back to some form. And
finally.
Ben Stokes followed up with his 100 from last time with an 84 in some
He
six.
seems to be back a little too late though.
A little too late. And dangerous for West Indies because they're going there next month. So Maybe they're getting informed the wrong time for that tour.
I don't know about
But
the West Indies. It's never a good time for them, apparently.
that's so true. But
Wherever they go, no matter what England is doing, they're probably going to give us a hard time.
they will give a hard time for sure. But back to the standings of the World Cup. India, the way it stands right now, and will remain, more,
Yeah,
no question about it, is that India will play New Zealand and South Africa will play Australia in the semi-final. So India will play the first semi-final, and then Australia and South Africa in the
okay.
second semi-final.
Yeah,
And because the way the game is going now, Pakistan is struggling, 171 for seven.
yeah,
So it doesn't even matter if they win the game because
yeah.
it's
It's
just
it's
those.
all decided already, right?
That's the final four.
Yeah.
And any picks, Roger? Any
You know
for
what? I
that?
I think I'm still sitting here trying to I don't know how to absorb what I watched with this Glenn Maxwell guy against Afghanistan. I think
Oh,
I'm
that was
I'm
yeah.
still
We got it.
blown away. They were
Um,
91 for 7, England. 91 for
yeah,
7.
and the 200 run partnership with
Cummings.
Cummins scoring 12 runs.
I was
I
like, this
mean,
Cummings must be the greatest anchorman ever.
yeah, he has to be. You know, when Maxwell is dropped the second time in that game
uh,
and he smiled, I said, "Oh, Afghanistan is in for it." But I didn't expect that. I expected
spec,
him to
yeah.
probably have support from the other batters and get close and maybe
Yeah.
come. But he
Make
just
it interesting.
dominated. I've never seen an innings like that in a
And the
World
guy
Cup.
was on one foot. That's the
He
part that
was
killed
on
me.
one foot
He couldn't even
and
run most of the time.
he couldn't run. At one point, they wanted him to come off, and he said, "No, I got to
Nope.
stay and win it for Australia."
And he did. The guy
And
scored 200.
200,
Like,
and
oh my God. I had to watch it twice, I think. Like, this can't be
yeah.
for real.
What do you
This
think about? I think Afghanistan was just stunned because the bowlers just didn't know what to do.
I think, you know what, they were on this roll. They thought they had
Hmm.
it done. They dropped him the first time, and, they said, but the second time now, and then he started going, and he's like, okay,
Hmm.
this is getting serious. And they panicked. They
And
totally lost their composure. They didn't do anything after that. They were
they
just serving
didn't
it up to him.
just give him where he wants it. I mean, and it shows his strength because
Oh
how
God.
could you just stand one spot and hit the ball so
Well,
far out of the
yeah,
ground?
exactly. He couldn't move. He just pick his
Yeah,
spot and just hit it wherever he wanted, and it went far.
went fast. So I figure his bat his bat is very good and his arms are very powerful.
Very, he must be very, very
Mhm.
powerful. But I don't know. I think it's maybe probably one of the greatest innings I've watched.
It has to be. It has to be. It's got to be up there as probably the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, in the World Cup. I mean, the guy scores 201
Yeah,
on one foot. Like, oh my God.
and quite deservedly got a rest today in the Australia game, which they
Yeah,
won earlier today
yeah,
against
yeah.
Bangladesh.
I hope he fully
Um,
recovers, but if he comes back, and Australia could be dangerous.
they could be very dangerous. I
Could be
mean,
dangerous.
they chased down 306 by 307 for two against Bangladesh today,
Exactly. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was so easy. And my predictions, Roger, is, and I know some people are not going to like it to hear this out there, but I think it's going to be an Australia New Zealand final.
Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Are you forgetting the host country?
No, I haven't forgotten that.
Is that an oversight?
No, it's no oversight. Not an
What are you
oversight.
talking about? Do you see what Kohli is doing to these people?
Yeah, I do, but I don't think I can't see a team going to a World Cup without losing,
Well,
and they're not going to lose to Netherlands and
no, no, I
New
don't think
Zealand.
so.
I
I
think
don't
if
know.
anybody can get Kohli out and can go through the Indian team is Trent Bolt.
He has a shot. I don't know. I think, when we see Viv Richards come out and say Virat Kohli is proving himself as one of the greats. He's a
Hmm.
standout batsman at the ICC World Cup, and he's proving himself as one of the greats. Viv Richards doesn't say that very often. This guy Cole
I
is ready now, and Cole himself has come out and says, you know what? He has struggled with mental health, and he says the sessions that he had with his ex-national team mental health coach has helped him gain some perspective, regain his perspective. And since he has got it back, Ingle, I don't know, man. This guy's on fire. I mean, he can have a bad day. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But
and
at
he
home,
will. He will have
at
a bad day.
it just went. But yeah, at home, I think it's hard to say they're gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm sticking with New Zealand and Australia in the finals. Honestly,
I gotta say South Africa hasn't wowed
no,
anybody,
no.
but they've been winning a lot, but they haven't wowed anybody.
So it's either they haven't. So it's they have been vulnerable chasing, and it
Yes,
all depends on whether or
wins and
not they
losses.
can get first strike. Yeah, if they
Yeah,
bat first, it would probably have a chance. But the way Australia is playing now, I think they were beaten earlier on, but now they're
yeah,
just like a
you
team
know,
that's gelling at the right time.
yeah, Jason has calls it destiny. So they seem to be the team of destiny right now. I must admit. But
Hmm.
yeah, I will say that they are extreme. To me, they are the most dangerous team in the final for Australia.
I think they they are, but I think come the 15th, which is the first game, 1.3 billion people are gonna be sad. I just
Ingle, are you willing to bet on that one? Because I mean that's a huge call there.
yeah,
As you said,
I think
1.3.
so, and
You're gonna send 1.3 billion people home crying.
they're gonna go home crying, get over it, and go enjoy the finals.
I don't know. I still think I don't know. India
So
is difficult to beat though.
they
Difficult to
are, yeah, they're gonna be difficult, but I think they'll be beaten, and they look very good. Their
yeah,
bowling attack is good, but
all around good.
besides, yeah, if we get through Rohit and Kohli early, then
Yeah. Then you
I
have a
don't know
shot.
about the other batsmen. Yeah,
You have a shot after that,
but
but I don't know to get through them. But yeah, it's I don't know. To me, India seems more also a team of destiny. They just seem as if they have this locked in from day one, and they're just focused on winning. And I don't know. You're right. I mean,
and,
they're due for that bad day. In horse racing they call it get a bounce. So you win
mhm.
a few, and then you have that bad day, and you're probably right. It's probably coming, but I don't think
Well,
they're gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen in this tournament.
we will we'll discuss it next week and see.
We'll see. We'll
The
see who shows
finals is
up.
on
But
Sunday, so
yeah, yeah.
so
But
we'll be
so
going over the
you're,
discussing the semi-final wins and who's in the
yeah.
finals.
So you're saying New Zealand, Australia.
New
It's a
Zealand, Australia. I'm calling.
it's a huge call. Huge call. But you know what?
It might be wrong, and you might go the other way totally and be India and South Africa. But I'm calling
Yeah,
it as New Zealand, Australia. But
I think India is going to be in the finals.
uh, I
I
think
don't know.
New Zealand wants to revenge that last World Cup.
They do. They do. And that's the only thing that I think in the back of my head that could make them very dangerous. They have something to prove.
And,
They have a
and
message to
Kane
send.
Williamson is back, so
And he has come back really well. Admittedly, he's come back and
mm,
he's not like he's trying to find where he is. He knows where he is and he's doing well again. So it's going to be interesting for sure. But I don't know. I don't want to. I mean,
no,
it's not that I love favorites, but I think the way they're playing now, it's difficult to go against them.
it is difficult, but yeah, I'll make it interesting. If you and I went to say, "Oh, India," it won't be good, right?
That too. That too.
So,
That too. That
so
too.
yes, I think it'll be difficult, but I call it that way. I could be wrong, but I'm
Yeah,
sticking to that. That's my finalist.
that's good. You're not sitting on any fences. You're going for it,
No,
and it's
I'm
New
going for
Zealand for
it.
you. So
New Zealand and Australia.
Australia. Yeah, we'll see. I will say that Australia, India.
Okay, we'll have a look and see next week who's right.
We'll see
We'll
who called
discuss
it
that.
right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and who we should bet on for the Sunday. We'll figure that out.
We'll know. I mean, based on the semifinals, I think we're going to know. Well, if Pakistan was there, we would never know. But I mean, every other team when they're on a trend, you see it in the semis, you know who's ready. Although they could have upsets, but in general, after I watch the semis, I usually know who's going to win the final.
Yeah, we'll have a look next time. Not yeah, next week I don't even want anybody calling me for anything.
You're
Next
going to be
Sunday.
like your basketball friend, no phone calls
Yeah,
when this
no
game is
phone
playing.
calls. I'm busy. Don't call me.
Yes, yes, don't talk to me.
So don't yeah, not at all. So Roger, you're listening to
Lovely.
Lovely Afro Beats Talk Radio Music Talk Radio, and the other finals that's happening today, that we know who is in the finals today, is in the CWI Super 50, the CNG Super 50.
Yep.
And it's Trinidad and Leeward Islands. And I'll give you my pick right away. It's Leeward Islands.
Without even thinking about it.
Without
This
even
is
thinking about it.
forget about the head. Forget about the head. Head doesn't come. It's all about the
No,
heart.
yeah, it's
All about
Leeward
the
Islands.
heart. Well,
Narayan will want to go out to the bank because
he will.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
I think
he's
he will.
announced his retirement.
Yeah, although I don't think anyway. But yeah, he's a special guy when he's on that pitch, and I think he's gonna do something special in the finals. But it goes back to what I said about India. I think Trinidad is just
And
just
they're home.
too dominant. They were just like India. They're in their home and they're looking dominant. So
Yeah,
hard to go against them. Really difficult to go against them.
it's difficult, but I think Leeward Islands are playing pretty good at the time. The factor is going to be how well they play against the spin.
Yes,
Darren Bravo is having a good season. He's
I
batting
must
well,
admit. I must admit,
and
I think he's having an. I mean, I've always said, why is he still playing? But I
yeah,
think I should take that back because he has proven himself that he is still good enough to play.
he's still good enough to play now. Interestingly, in this in the spin bowling matchup, the two leading wicket takers are two leg spinners, one from Trinidad and one from Leeward Islands. So
Leeward
Hayden
Island.
Walsh and
Yeah.
Yannick Carrera, the two
Yeah.
leading wicket takers. So
Interesting. That is an interesting statistics.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they go. And Hayden Walsh is actually bowling much better than I've seen him bowl in a long time.
I
And
like I like his talent, I must admit. I think he's great potential and he seems to have settled down into a nice little rhythm now. I think he's confident in what he's doing and honestly, I like his approach to cricket. I think he's a great player to have on the team. So I
yeah,
think he's one of them that can make and he can bat too. So I think he's one of them that
he's
can make a
showing he
difference.
can bat. Yeah.
I think he's gonna make a difference.
Any surprises with you when you watched the semifinals? How one-sided they were? It's like I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be so.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, I like competitive games. So I was like, what is this? What
Yeah,
is
it was
going on
just
here? I was a tad surprised, I must admit.
yeah, I was pretty surprised. And one of the players that's standing with the bat, and I think he's the leading run score so far, is oh, he's not the leading, but he's probably second leading running score is Justin Graves for the Leewards. He's
Yeah,
been around. He's played for Barbados. They dropped him. When played
yeah.
for Windward, they dropped him. Now he seems to have found his place to the
Oh,
Leeward
the
Islands.
right little spot that he's doing.
Yeah,
He's one that I'm thinking may have a bad day, but I think he's had a
yeah,
phenomenal season.
he's had a phenomenal season. If he has a bad day today, then yeah, Leeward could be in a lot of trouble because
Yeah, yeah.
he's batting really well. He's
For
touched.
the whole from game one, it seems to be on this roll. So
Yeah, he's gotten his last four innings is three half centuries and 100.
100,
So
yeah,
and
exactly.
including a 95, not
You
out. So
you can't ask for more than that, right?
yeah,
So he's
so
on a nice little roll. I don't know. Has he forced himself onto the West Indies team? You think?
that's a good question. Do you bring him in for the England series? But I guess you have to give him a chance because at least in the training squad and see what
Yeah.
he can do because you have to play the informed players.
Yes. Yeah. And
If
I
I'm
don't
not
know who.
mistaken, he might have played one game for the West Indies in the
Yeah,
past.
in the past, I don't know who he would replace
Three,
though.
actually, three games, three ODIs.
Okay.
But
Who would you
not
take
a
out?
wow. West Indies, but maybe Kyle Hope. I mean, not Kyle Hope, Kyle
Kyle,
Myers.
Kyle Myers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
But
might
Myers
be the.
bowls as well. I don't know.
Well, he bowls, but do you need Myers and Jason Holder in the same team?
Uh,
So
uh,
Jason Holder up not to play. He's training in India,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's another thing that's been a big talking point. But It's going to be
He-
interesting how the
he-
selectors. I see they're all there. I see Desmond Haynes at all the games.
Mm.
So it's going to be
I don't know.
interesting.
I think I'm a little, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I don't think Haynes has done anything since he has come in as a selector. I mean, maybe his hands are tied, I don't know, but
It's,
he hasn't made a difference. That much I can say.
no, he seems like, but he's. I don't think that's the position for him. I think he should be there, the batting consultant or something,
Like
not
that.
a selector. But
And I think they gave that to Jimmy Adams, didn't they?
Jimmy, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they gave Jimmy Adams the bat. I'm
Oh
not sure if
wow,
it's for how long, but yeah, it
I
may be
guess.
temporary. But yeah, they gave Jimmy Adams.
Oh wow, yeah, that's not good. I think they're mixing up things. Jimmy should be the chief selector, and
Yeah, I
Desmond
think he
should be
probably,
the
yeah,
batting
they
consultant.
probably switch roles.
Another thing I needed to ask you before we get off of this, Roger, get into some track quickly, is what do you think the message was CWI and CG United are sending? Because they have free entrance for all fans.
They, they
This is your premier tournament, your
put it in the Caribbean.
finals,
Yeah.
and you're giving it free.
Um, they have this talk that cricket is dying,
Hmm.
and the games are not having spectators anymore, and it shows a lot, especially in a country like Jamaica. And I think they have to change something. They
But
have to change something to get people out. Maybe this is just what they're starting with.
it's Saturday afternoon, day night game. The game at Trinidad semifinal, they had a decent crowd in.
It
So,
looked like a decent crowd, yeah.
so I was thinking the home team, they
With the
they,
home team there, I don't think they needed to take this
they
approach,
didn't. No, they didn't. I don't think
in
so.
my
But
opinion.
I hope
But
it's packed. If it's free and it does not full
back
house, then
then, cricket is in serious trouble.
serious.
Maybe
Exactly.
that's what they want to find out is how bad are we? I don't know right now, but I think it's a huge call in my opinion. I wouldn't do it, but you're right. If it's free and it's not full, then it tells us that something's is definitely wrong with
Something.
West Indies cricket.
Yeah. If it's not free. West Indies cricket, I guess, is dead.
It's totally dead, and I
Yeah.
think it doesn't help that as you mentioned, Jason Holder is over there in India,
Yeah.
and then he, of course, is talking up his mouth to highlight the big gap
Yeah.
between cricket facilities in the Caribbean and in India. And yeah, I think we should all say, yeah, we know, buddy. I mean, you don't have to say it as a member of the current team, but I
But
don't know. I
look
don't know
at
if that helps
India gets 400 plus million
a
from
year,
ICC, and
yeah,
West Indies get 20 million, 30 million, something like that.
something like that.
So it's big
It's a
difference.
huge difference.
Not even 10% of what India is
It's
getting.
getting,
Yeah,
and it's. I think it was a little unfair for him to start piping up because he knows the situation,
he does. Yeah,
and as a
and
former captain, to start highlighting that is like, what are you trying to do here?
yeah, it's not good. But gonna wrap up quickly with some news and notes. Pakistan women A team won the Tri Series with the West Indies and Thailand. The other
Hmm.
two teams. Haley Matthews wins ICC Player of the Month, but she's having a hard time over in that WBC.
I noticed she
I don't know what's
fails.
going
I think she's
every
failing
day.
every game.
I think she's playing with an injury. She needed to stop and take some
Okay.
time off.
Okay. It was
Um,
amazing to me that she was on this huge run and then she goes there and she fails every day.
yeah, she's playing with an injury and the added responsibility as captain. I think
Yeah,
it's not
maybe.
good for her. And ICC has suspended Cricket Sri Lanka over because of government interference.
That one I when the first news came out, I was like, why couldn't these people be West Indians?
Hmm.
And just get rid of everybody, just get rid of all of them.
Get rid of them. Yeah,
But yeah, then they reversed that and now it's a sad situation over there, but I can they made it to the World Cup and they're
they
reacting
did.
this way. West Indies didn't even make it to the World Cup, and they have done nothing to
And
change anything. So, but
yeah,
yeah, this is a serious interference in my opinion.
it is a serious interference for real. And yeah, ICC I think did the right thing because that shouldn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. The Ministry of
Yeah.
Sports says, you know what, you embarrass me, all gone.
Everybody's gone. Yeah, and
We need that
final
in
narrow.
justice, though.
Narayan has announced his retirement, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
and girl, did you see the Angelo Matthews made history? It was first
I
batter
was
to be
about to ask
timed
you
out.
about that because I think I don't know. This is just it wasn't good for cricket, in my opinion. I was just at first I was like, what is he out for? I
Yeah,
have never, ever, ever seen anything like that. Where did that come from?
it's in the rule, and you know what? The problem I have with the it's there, so it's fair to for him to be out. The problem I have with the people saying, like the officials saying about spirit of the game, then take it out of the rule book. The
If
same
it
thing
should be,
as the man card. If you don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
anybody to use it, then don't give it as a rule
yeah,
that you can be out that way. And
yeah.
the umpires defended themselves. I don't know if you saw that interview with Bishop where they said that 2 minutes had already gone when his strap broke.
Broke it. Well, that's what they're saying. I don't.
Yeah,
Was that true though?
I didn't see the game itself, so I
Uh,
don't even know.
I
He
don't
said
know.
no. He said, I think if he was there, what do you determine as ready to take
Six
strikes?
strike. Thank you.
you
Thank you.
know, the bowler
That,
can delay that too.
thank you.
And
Right. So
feel
it's
like,
like
yeah,
it's a crazy rule, but as you said, it's in there, and it has to be clarified, in my opinion.
yeah,
But I
I,
don't know. At this point, I don't think it should have happened where it
I
happened.
don't think so. And I don't even, and looking at the World Cup so far, I don't think he's the first batter to take more than 2 minutes.
That's the problem.
Yeah, he's
It is
not the
something that is
first.
happening from time to time, and suddenly he gets dinged for it.
Because I remember watching, I think it was Australia, and the incoming batsman waited until the batsman walked off of the field before
Yeah,
he
before
walked
you,
started
yeah,
walking on. So I'm sure
yeah,
2 minutes was on between his dismissal, but
long
nobody
time.
appealed. So
It's I don't even know what to say, but
I
I don't know.
don't
I
know.
think it's just not good for cricket because Matthews is a big name player.
Hmm.
To step out there and to be sent back to the pavilion like that, it's just disgusting, I think.
It is, and yeah, I saw a tweet which is supposedly from Matthew's brother. I don't know if it's true. I didn't like it though, but it says Shakib is not welcoming him in Sri Lanka, and if he comes to play in any cricket there, he'll be stoned.
I hope that's
So
not true.
I hope it's not true.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's you got to take those things seriously, especially these days. So it's
yeah,
unfortunate
it,
for anyone to say that publicly, especially.
yeah, it is, and for his brother especially. But
Yeah,
I'm just hoping it's something that AI did, and it's not true.
yeah, yeah. We can only hope, but I mean, it's
Yeah,
out there,
yeah,
and you can't really take it back. So it's dangerous times ahead for sure.
yeah, for sure. That's it for cricket, Roger. We have about another 18 minutes or so left, and we have to speak a bit about track and field and what's happening in the world of soccer.
Yeah, for sure. So we could talk a little bit about the track and field. So not a lot going on, but last weekend was the New York Marathon, and of course we were all talking about Cam Levens,
Hmm.
number one in North America. He's going there to make something happen. He's going to do his thing and all of that. But then, for some reason, he said he wasn't feeling well, his stomach pains or
Correct.
something from before he even started running. He says, and after 20 kilometers, he stopped. So it's very, very, very disappointing because we were all pumped and looking forward to it. But it just never came to be.
Yeah, he
You
said he
know,
wasn't tired or anything. He just
no,
didn't feel
it
well. Yeah.
doesn't feel well. So, as I said, it's just disappointing. I mean, we were all pumped to see North American take it. It was won by Tamarad Tola, but in general, I just wanted to see Cam do something special. I think he's one of my favorite runners, and I was hoping he'd do something special. We just gotta wait. I mean, if you're not well, you're not well, and this is not
Yeah.
something you can plan for. You get up and you just, as I say, wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and that's it. You're just
Hmm.
not well. On the women's side, we had Helen Obiri. She blazed the victory, and she used a furious kick to turn the tables on
Okay. Yeah.
what's in that Gide,
Yeah.
and she won, and she's the first woman to win the New York and the Boston Marathon in the same year since Ingrid Christiansen in 1989. So it's a long time since somebody took that double, but that's a serious double to take, New York and Boston in the same year. So kudos to Obiri. Let's see how far she can go. I think whenever she takes on the big names in marathon running, she's gonna have problems. But for this, yeah, kudos to her.
Yeah.
She's having a fantastic year, and she did extremely well. So New York Marathon is behind us, but it was a good race, and two new champions are out there now, and it's good to see.
Yeah, it's good to see that other names coming up there, and
Yeah,
with an, especially the Olympic year. But Kenya is, and Ethiopia seem to have all these great runners when it
they
comes to.
they control the marketplace. I must
Yeah,
admit, they do have a lot of names that are big names out there. So
yeah.
the only one we could say, Sifan Hassan, who runs for the Netherlands, is
Hmm.
probably somebody who we could say maybe. I mean, we do all know she came from Ethiopia, but
She's Ethiopian, yeah.
yeah, but at the end of the day, she's running for Netherlands and she has a
Hmm.
shot to win. So let's see if she can break up that African monopoly in the
Is
marathon.
she gonna run the marathon in the Olympics or no?
That's the big question people are asking her, because it's not a shaping up that may her best chance to win gold.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because she's not gonna beat them in the 10,000 or 5,000.
No, she's gonna have problems. You know what? It's a big decision for her because she seems to have taken to the marathon really well, and she has done extremely well there. So I don't know. You don't get a lot of glory. Well, you get a lot of glory on the roads, but at the Olympics is what happens on the track.
Hmm.
So she probably is going to want to go to the track. Let's see how she goes. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth, the Pan Am Games, sorry, finished last weekend as well. And USA, as expected, they topped the table in track and field. They had 25 medals, of which eight were gold, and they were just ahead of Brazil, who had 23, of which seven were gold. Canada had nine medals, of which four were gold. So Canada did really well, and they ended up
Mm,
in fourth on the medal
good.
table. So that's big numbers for Canada to be in top five. So
Yeah.
kudos to them. They did extremely well. The putters, Sarah Mitten did well again, and they're doing okay. They're doing okay, and they gotta give whatever they're doing on the back end to make Canada so good these days. It's working. So kudos to them for that. Jamaica had four medals, only one gold. The gold was won by Jaheel Hyde in the 40-meter
Mm,
hurdles. So he took the decision that he wanted to have a good end to his season. So he trained himself for this. He stopped. He's supposed to be doing background training. He insisted he wanted to do this, and
okay.
he coached himself to this. So big shout out to him. I mean, fantastic for him to do that and to actually win. But at the end of the day, the four medals that Jamaica got were actually quite significant, Ingo, because they hit
Mm,
a medal milestone at the Pan Am Games. Because it
okay.
means they now have 100 Pan Am athletics medals at the Pan Am Games.
Perfect.
So you know
Great.
what? They're at 100 now. So kudos to them for that. A big number for them. As I said, not much more going on in track and field. As you know, we're in the season of awards, so lots of
Awards
awards
and
coming up. So over the
yeah.
next few weeks, we'll see. But right now, everyone is in background training, getting ready for indoors, which starts in December. You had anything else on
Do
track
you
and
think
field?
do you think a lot of them will do indoor coming up into Olympic year or is that good for the
Mo-
training?
Most don't. So I mean, it depends on what you're working on.
Mm,
It's helpful for some to do it. I will admit. But in general, you have a higher chance of getting injured. It means you got to peak twice and all of that stuff, which makes it sometimes difficult. So it's easier in general to train through it. But I think some of them are going to take it. You do make money out there, to tell the truth. And on top of that, I think it also helps your fitness. It also tells you where you are, as you compete against others. So it is the advantage of doing it. People may say the distance, if it's not the same, it's a problem. So the 60s and the 300s and the 600s and that type of stuff, maybe. But in general, yeah, it's the same distance. It's just you have to use different tactics and sometimes changing tactics sort of plays around with your head. When the time comes for outdoors, like you probably get used to your indoor tactics and you got to change your outdoor tactics, and it can be stressful for some. So
mm.
most, I think, will avoid it. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that most will not run. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure you get there no injuries. So
That's the key. And with those indoor tracks, it's easy to get injured with those tight corners, and even in the warm up, everybody's out there together, and there's not a lot of space, and it can be challenging. I must admit, it can be
mm,
really challenging. So I personally, unless I, well, Depends on the distance. I think a 400 guy would probably don't mind doing it.
Hmm.
It would help, but I mean, again, the tight corners, if you're tall, it doesn't work so well. So there's a lot of things you got to factor in when you go indoors.
Okay, good.
A lot of things. So I'm going to switch over now to some football or soccer, as it's
Soccer.
called in North America. And you know what? The MLS, the Major League Soccer, is at this playoff time now, and we're at the semis pretty much in the East. And
Hmm.
we got Philadelphia going to go up against Cincinnati, so they're looking. Philly went to the finals last year and let's talk about barely losing. They lost
They
in the
lost, yeah.
yeah in overtime. So let's see what happens here. I think they have a shot to go back. So let's see if they can defeat Cincy when they take them on. Well, Orlando is sitting there and waiting the winner of Atlanta Columbus, and usually Atlanta was a strong team. They won a few years ago, but they're not the same team. And but I still think they're going to have enough to beat Columbus and go through. So I'm seeing maybe we're going to see Philly going up against Orlando in the Eastern Finals, while in the West, LA Football Club, they're looking very solid, very solid. They're going to take on Seattle in their semifinals, right? In the other one out west, it's going to be Kansas City or Sporting Kansas City, awaiting the winner of Real Salt Lake and Houston. So I think again, Kansas City is probably they're playing really well this year. So I think they're gonna have a shot to go through to the Western Finals. So it's gonna be some interesting games as the business and other things for the MLS, and I think they're gonna do some have some serious fun and some serious games in the next week or so.
Yeah, there's no Miami, but Messi said he's promised that he's gonna win championships for them.
I saw that, and he said not only he says he has no doubts. So I'm
He
like,
has no
okay,
doubts. Yeah.
I don't know what this guy is smoking over there, but I think before him it was one of the worst teams. He
Hmm.
came and he rejuvenated them, and they're doing much better. But silverware won't be easy.
Won't be easy, and they'll have to get some changes for sure.
They have to get supporting cast, and I mean it
Yeah.
shows when he's not there what is going to happen, and he's not 25 anymore,
Right.
so
You know.
he's going to go down more often than we think. So I don't know. That's a huge call by him, but I
Yeah,
mean
but
gets everybody talking.
of course, and we probably get more seats, more people in the seats, right?
There you go. So I think that's
Yeah.
what that is about. Actually, to tell the truth, in other soccer news are going on out there. The Champions League is going on, and you see Bayern Munich out of Germany, Manchester City, and Real Madrid. They're looking perfect after the 4 rounds of play and heading to the round of 16. So unbeaten, awesome looking team. Let's see how far those three can go. But the one that I'm looking at that is just in free fall right now, England. I'm getting concerned. What's going on with Manchester United? They've
Man,
only
yeah,
won
yeah.
one game so far. Copenhagen, I don't even
Hmm.
know who plays for them. Came back and beat them 4-3.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's a team that's they're not consistent this year
They're
at
consistently
all.
bad. If you ask, well, they're
Even
eighth.
yeah,
They're eighth in the EPL. So I mean,
eighth
they're
in
not all
EPL,
bad, but
all bad, but they're last in their group, right? Of their Champions
they
League
are.
group,
They
right?
are. I think they're
Mm.
done. If you ask me, I don't even know what's going on with them, but it's going to be interesting to see. But of course, the big game this weekend is of your team
Chelsea.
taking on the aforementioned Manchester City. So I don't know. You have a pick there, or you giving up on your team?
I've kind of given up on Chelsea, but I always say when teams that are familiar with each other play, then you don't know how it's gonna go.
Gonna go, yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
Chelsea's getting, I wouldn't say on a roll, but they're doing better these
They're
days.
doing
So
better,
they're 10th in the league, so they're not that far off. So
yeah.
I'll give them a shot.
That's
Not a
the
big one.
that's tomorrow's final game, right?
Yeah,
Probably the
tomorrow's a
last
big
game.
game tomorrow.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
game, yeah.
The only real big game this weekend, I think. So we'll see.
Spurs lost this morning.
I was a little surprised at that. I was looking at it and I told my friend who's a Spurs fan to take a picture of the table. I mean, it's a good thing I did
Yeah,
because I think they're gonna fall off the top. So
yeah,
I
because
don't know.
they've lost to number 15 and well,
Yeah,
12 or something. Yeah,
Wolves. Yeah,
Wolves. Yeah,
I'm surprised that happened though.
yeah, me
It
too.
just
I'm
goes to
surprised.
show that maybe they're not yet a big team. They're just on their way to becoming a big team. They're just not there yet. We'll see. But yeah, a little surprised at that. But you never know. I think Manchester United has an easy. Well, no games are easy for them. They're playing Luton.
They play
They,
Luton. Yeah,
they
it's
should win.
it's 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah,
Everton and Crystal Palace 1-1, and Arsenal 1-0 over Burnley.
yeah, yeah.
So
So Arsenal is doing okay. This weekend, we have Jamaica going up against Guatemala in a soccer friendly. A lot
okay,
of the French players, so it's not an, an approved game by FIFA, so it's a friendly, and the big stars won't be there. So the coach is trying to figure out he can put onto the real team. But then the next weekend is the big one where they're going to tackle Canada. So Jamaica,
yeah,
Canada, Ingle, it's a huge on the
it's a
17th
huge,
and then the
yeah.
21st, massive games.
Is it on the
Ma-
21st?
The 21st at BMO Field,
Wow,
the 17th in Jamaica.
wow,
So
that's
massive, massive games.
they're gonna catch them in the cold.
I know that's what Canada loves, and the Canada's big name players they've all come back for that game because if they win that game, whoever wins the game goes on to the Gold Cup,
Mm,
and that's where everyone wants to get into, right? So it's going to be a very, very tight game. I mean, Jamaica's out on a little roll right now, and their players are playing well together. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, the 17th, Ingle, mark your calendars. First game, then the
can
21st,
you
BMO
can
Field.
can you get tickets for BMO still, or
Yeah, you
how is
should.
that? Well,
It-
it's yeah,
The women's game was solo, but not the men's game
women's
so
not. Yeah.
far.
If they played next week, it would have been a little better because the weather is supposed to be in the teens, but then
Yeah,
maybe you aren't. But
we'll
wow,
see what it is on the 21st. It's a little
yeah,
far, but I'm really hopeful that it's like what we're going to see next week. I'm really hopeful that
hmm
we get decent enough weather because it's tough, even as a spectator, going to the game.
to watch the games. Yeah,
Watch the game in 1 degree, 2 degree temperatures. It's not fun.
no, it's not fun at all. No,
You get frozen. I don't even. Well, the players are actually better off because they're out there running up and down, but you're
yeah,
just standing or sitting
you're
there.
just standing or sitting there. You have to get up and keep moving
Keep
around.
moving around and not watch the game because you're too cold to watch the game. You want to get warm. So yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Well, let's hope Jamaica can win those games. I'm
I'm
saying that
rooting for
as a
Jamaica for this one. I mean, I live
we're
in Canada,
Canadians,
so
but we still want to see our West
yeah,
Indian win some
yeah,
of those games, get to the Gold Cup.
that is so
And,
true.
I'd
And
love to see Jamaica and Trinidad back in a World Cup. You know,
Trinidad surprisingly has been doing fairly okay. I mean, they picked up a team that was considered weak, and now they're finding their way. So they're playing good as well in the Nations League. So give them some credit. Not sure how far they will go, but this Jamaica team, I think, has enough stars to get them places
yeah, they should have a good enough team. And so keep an eye on the 17th and the 21st.
for
Uh,
sure.
not just Jamaicans, but all West Indians need to go out and
And
support.
support. Absolutely right
And
about that. And I hope the Canadians will show up. So
the Canadians will show up for
yeah,
sure.
we should have a full stand. I'm
So,
hopeful.
yeah, should be all fans, soccer fans, whichever
Yes,
team you're supporting. Just
exactly.
go out and enjoy the day and
There
enjoy
you
the
go.
match. Yeah,
Enjoy the
wear
match.
your colors
Wear your colors. I mean, I support Jamaica when they play in
so you
Canada,
can
but when they're not playing, when Canada's playing anybody else, I'm supporting Canada. So
you can get you can wear a red shirt and a yellow jacket over
over it.
it.
I may do
So
that. Now that you mention it, I may do that.
yeah, so anyway, we've come to the end, man. Time has flown, Roger. It's
Yeah,
come
time
to the
flies
end of
when
the
you're having
show.
fun on
Yeah,
love-based sports and talk radio. Good
yeah,
place to be on Saturday mornings to listen to the Roger and Ingle Hour, Sports Hour.
yeah. It's just a good place to be. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of the shows coming up on the
Yeah,
station. Some
interesting
interesting
shows.
shows. Yeah, some very interesting shows. So leave it set to Love Bay and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Take care.